You're now live.
Hello.
Say hello.
This is big.
Yeah.
This is 4, 3,
4.
4.
I think we're at 10 now.
Quarter.
You always think it's
This
one
is
below
huge.
and
This is big.
one
So
above.
we've set a record every time.
Oh,
this
Dominique.
happens.
Tell Dom thanks for the.
Yeah.
Show Dom.
Thank you for the thing.
Dom wanted us to love that.
Thank you for the thing.
I sent Dom a thank you this morning for that beautiful mug, and I got the sweetest emoji of her back.
We've got Jason and Melissa.
Yeah, only people that care are people that work with us, you know? we appreciate the loyalty. No one else really cares. I wouldn't care either though, to be honest with you, it's fine.
Dominique says love it with her little emoji.
Can they hear us okay? I'm guessing
Love
they
it.
can, but
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, how's that audio, folks?
Yeah.
if someone give us the sound check, are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
Kendra.
Can you hear us? Are we doing good?
If we can have volume, we've already got a big win today.
Well, you want to just dive in here and talk a little bit about market updates?
Great. Oh, see.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, why don't you do it? Because I do it every time. So when he's been watching the market.
Yeah, in terms of the market, it's pretty much the same that we've gone over the last few weeks. Again, we'll say things like, oh, it's normalizing, it's getting balanced. It's still moving pretty well. It's just relative to 6 months ago, people can breathe a little bit more, both buyers and sellers.
I think even on the investment side, I was looking this morning, there's it was like 72 multi kind of income producing properties, which is a lot more than what we used to. I think there's I saw something like 8 fourplexes on the market and 25 duplexes, which I mean 3 or 4 months ago.
I suppose much is sold in 1 year, I think.
Yeah, we would never see that. Prices are still pretty high on it, but I think right now it's getting it to be a good time to go into a situation where you can get into it without having to. We were removing everything back then on these multifamilies, and so I think we're starting to see the same even on the investment side of the market that we're seeing on the residential, which is a good thing. So I think now's a good time to enter the your empire state now.
Yeah.
You're looking to build.
I actually want to piggyback off of that. So for investment, when you say it's high, if somebody wanted to dive in, would you say wait or not? Because you're saying it's
I think it all depends on your I always say it all depends on your plan. Every investor is different and they all have different criteria. I think I told everyone, I personally am still looking to and buying. I know other people that are, but my plan is always long term. I kind of see where if you buy it right, then you'll really not ever get hurt in real estate, and that's just really looking at the numbers and getting the deal done right, and then finding out what your eventual long term plan is. If you tell me right now you want to buy it and sell it in 2 years to get the 30% appreciation, I'll probably tell you it's probably not the wisest idea. But
I think price really matters as much as does it make the money you want.
exactly.
I mean, you can have a price of $10 million for something and $1 million for the other. If the $10 million one cash flows and the $1 million doesn't, price doesn't really matter, I guess. You know.
Exactly.
Okay, so when you're looking to buy and put in an offer in this market right now, what are the most important pieces to consider when putting together an offer? Like, what are, top 3 things to consider?
First thing's pick a good agent.
Yeah.
That's the number one.
Yeah.
Make sure you work with someone who's not a effing dummy, as Devin would say. Make sure they're smart. And in this market right now, it's no different to anything. I don't think the top 3 things are ever going to matter or going to change rather in however many years. Whether it's a market where you're seeing things going for way over ask with no contingencies, or if we're waiting for forever on the market 100 days, you have to have a good agent. You have to have pre-approval. And what else? What's the third one? Do you think?
In terms of stuff that you get done before, I think a really big thing that not enough folks talk about is it's nice to have a little bit of a scope of what you're getting into. If you just go out and look at one house, and maybe you love it, maybe you don't, but all you have to compare to, especially if you're a first timer, because that's typically a first timer question. If you have more to compare to and you've seen more homes, you've seen things online, your agents explain to you values in separate areas, you're gonna know when you see a house if things line up well. But if you've only seen one house, your agent hasn't been informative, things haven't been super transparent, you're gonna be in the dark a little bit. So I think even before you can see a house in real life, just being filled in on values in different areas, and even if you're doing a little bit of window shopping with us online, things like that can help because you go into it knowing what you're getting into.
Okay.
But what do I know? You know.
More than me.
Dusty thought we were in an ocean, so.
Yeah, that's right.
Home renovations. So we all see the shows on HGTV and we're like, I can do that and that looks amazing. When is it smart to do home renovations, and how do you know the value of renovations is going to bring up your property?
So the best time to do it sounds stupid, is when it's needed, but you have to know when it's needed. So you have to know if your property, how it stacks up. If you're looking to sell, right? If you're looking to sell, I'm assuming we're asking for selling,
Sure.
right? So if you're looking to sell, you have to stack up and see where your home compares to the competition or what's sold recently. If in your area you're seeing homes selling pretty quick that have been outdated, for example, and they've been selling for a price that is comparable and makes sense, then you may not want to make any changes. If, however, you're seeing homes in your area selling that have been renovated and updated recently, you generally speaking be wise to make those renovations in order to be in alignment with the rest of the market. However, you just look at the dollar return, right? So if generally speaking, the bathrooms and the kitchens are the two places where renovations are most prominent to buyers. They can see them and it kind of makes sense to them. But you have to understand, okay, if I put round number 20K into renovating my kitchen, is that going to get me at least 20K more on the sales side? If it's not, you may not have to do it. But bear in mind too, just because it doesn't guarantee that you return that 20K when you put it in, doesn't mean that you're opening yourself up to a larger set of buyers. If you made the renovations, it's going to appeal to more people. So it's not just a case necessarily sometimes of, am I going to get my money back? It's, I'm actually going to sell the home. If you can appeal to more buyers, you're more likely to sell the home. So it's twofold. You have to know what's been selling in your area, which again means you have to have a good agent who can kind of help you look through that stuff. So yeah, you have to know when you need to. And when you need to depends on whether you're living in it, whether you're selling it or whatnot. So that's my 2 cents.
And I think people don't realize too, every home does have a little bit of a ceiling. I know folks don't like to hear that necessarily, like, oh, well, I can update the kitchen and I can do the bathroom and I can keep adding more and more and more. That must mean I'm getting more money back. It's not always the case. Think of it, if you're in a tough neighborhood, a tough neighborhood is relative to what you think, but let's say the ceiling of your neighborhood is X amount. If you keep improving your home and keep improving your home and keep adding the fanciest, most highest end finishes and everything, you might not get your money back, because let's say that goal price you have, the buyers looking in that price point are going to see homes in a lot better areas. So I don't mean to say don't renovate your house, give up, anything like that. But if you over improve your house, if you put too much money into your house, there is a point where you go past the ceiling and you're not returning your money back. Now that can be fine for some folks, that if you know you're going to live in your house forever, you can renovate as much as you want. But if your ultimate goal is just getting a return on your money, don't over improve, and we can dive into that another time with specifics. But there's a line you don't want to cross.
It's called the law of diminishing return.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think one last thing, just to point on that, is when it comes to the kitchen and bathroom models and stuff like that, I think you need to really consider kind of the things that maybe aren't seen. If you have a leaky roof and you do like a home renovation, like a bathroom or kitchen renovation, but your roof still leaks, that's gonna deter a lot of buyers. I think that generally when you're buying a home, you think about all those maintenance things like siding and some of these things they're not the really pretty things. They don't want to have to deal with those things, so there's also kind of that balancing act of just taking care of all the things that I think scare people when it comes to plumbing and things like that you don't see. If you can get those taken care of, I think more buyers are willing to see through like a usable bathroom that's just a little bit outdated than having to like go into a house where they think they're gonna have a huge problem with a bunch of the maintenance things. So I think, you know, keeping an eye on those and looking after those, and just keeping your home maintained is going to help a lot. So that'd be like my last 2 cents to it.
Yeah.
And mow your lawn and weed. Just, it does wonders what $150 landscaper to come through will do to your house, because no one wants to drive up to a house and be like, yeah, no, we're just gonna keep going. That's,
Exactly.
So even if you have a beautiful kitchen, if you're not trimming your lawn,
Heck, go to your neighbor's house too. Go to your neighbor's house, clean up their yards. They'll do it for free.
Yeah.
We're gonna start doing that.
I literally landscaped my neighbors to.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to before the appraiser comes, otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no. Maybe you want the yard next door looking crap because it makes yours look better. Man.
That's
Maybe it's an
true.
adjustment. I don't know.
I don't know. I just knew my neighbor needed some trees, so I put some in their yard.
Good for that.
All right, friends. Till next week. We'll save this till next week.
Sure.
So,
We're always getting momentum, and we gotta
Yeah.
take it easy.
Yeah. How
We
many people did you get this time?
We had 58,000.
So just shy of last week's record.
Yeah.
Just
we
shy.
We had 500,000 last week.
Well, that's
so
that's
not
because
great
I
week.
wasn't here. So
Yeah.
Yeah. that
see, when
makes
I get
sense.
here, the numbers go down. That's the problem.
Well, they can see half your face too. If they can see your whole face,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
probably more, you know.
But then I gotta like lay on your shoulder. I'll be like the puppet, Elliot's like little ventriloquist, like just like on his shoulder.
You're like the devil and
Yeah.
the angel almost.
It was supposed to be the sandwich.
But seriously, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks,
We
guys.
appreciate you guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it.